Hello and welcome everyone back to another video. Magic Gathered back in crypto video. Hope you guys are having a great weekend, and today we are back with a banger video about Pulsechain, guys. Of course, none other than the most undervalued network, ready for the altcoin season with the biggest growth potential. But in the meantime, until the alt season starts rallying up, we're gonna be waiting a lot. And what is the best thing to do other than taking advantage of all that sideways action, the consolidation, the days that's kind of bloody, the day that's kind of green, such as today is looking beautiful actually in the Pulsechain. We're going to be covering a few bits of that as well, guys. We're bringing you the top 5 ways you can be making passive income in Pulsechain literally from today. I hope you guys are enjoying that so far. I really appreciate you guys. I want you guys to comment down below, how new are you to Pulsechains, because some of these projects you might have not heard about, so I'm going to try to kind of scratch the surface in all those projects as well. So yeah, a quick shout out to my YouTube members, the DeFi insiders who are choosing to support my small channel. Really appreciate you guys. And of course, the highlight comment goes to Jason. It's not that popular. We can still do 100x, or sorry, we still can do 100x tokens, and he's referring to the fact that Pulsechain is obviously not popular, as referring to there. And I do agree, by the way. Pulsechain is basically only listed on one centralized exchange, guys. So if you really think about it, the barrier for entry is still obviously very high. Not a lot of people are knowing about Pulsechain. You can basically think about it as 99% of crypto traders and investors are elsewhere. They're still roaming around in Solana, base chain, Ethereum, etc. They're gonna know about Pulsechain when it's kind of too late for them. Okay, that's why I'm making these videos. It's bringing you guys the information asymmetry. You have to take advantage of it. Buy the red candles. Most people will literally just come to Pulsechain when it's already green, when it's already booming and flourishing. So keep that in mind. I've been telling people that they'll be super happy to be onboarding onto PDAI's narrative, right, when it's only like a 5x away to $1. You know what I mean? And they're gonna think that's the greatest trade in the whole crypto bull run, basically. So keep that in mind. People literally will only come here once it's green candles. But of course, a lot of things that are helping is the stuff with the SEC case hopefully being one, and of course the onboarders and people like me. I'm just doing my part of the community by making videos about Pulsechain to let people know about this, because it is genuinely a project that it is more than just an investment. I want to be part of Pulsechain. I mean, I want to have my own footprint in here. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys are going to be enjoyed. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this video. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. I'm not really going to comment too much about the market. Again, it's still going kind of sideways. The Bitcoin dominance, again, as I said, you're going to keep expecting it to keep rising up until it kind of falls off like a falling knife, and that is going to be one of the biggest indicators for the altcoin season. I do predict around a 40% Bitcoin dominance at the peak of the altcoin, so keep that in mind, okay? Because you do want to kind of create a list of top signals for yourself, for your own sanity, because sometimes when we reach that euphoric phase of the chart, psychological chart, everyone around you will be saying, oh my god, Bitcoin is going to go to 1 million, oh my god, this is not going to stop, etc. But you need to detach yourself from that and really do realize, hold on, is this a top signal? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, keep that in mind. Anyways, looking at Pulsechain in general, today we're having a 4.1 million in 24-hour trading volume. Again, not that much, okay? So these are the days where you really have to ask yourself, it seems like these numbers are priming in, right? I don't want to say the bottom is in, but it does seem like we're kind of stagnating. We're creating that runway, we're consolidating. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. But we're going to be showing you guys today how you can take advantage of this, the different ways you can be taking advantage of bloody markets or just consolidating movements. Jumping into number 1, guys, of course, none other than PulseX Farms, or PulseX in general. We're going to be talking about that right now, version 1, version 2. I made a lot of videos about this, so I'm not going to go as in depth as I used to in those other videos. You can go check them out, but I will be talking about what you need to know at least, okay, about PulseX Farms and PulseX in general. Okay, so number 1 is PulseX Farms. This is the one where you create the LP tokens and then you enter these farms, whichever one that kind of attracts you. and you can make up to 61% APR. This is not APY, which is really good. I prefer looking at the APRs because it doesn't take into account that you have to be accumulating your compound, because APY is the yield and APR is basically the annual percentage return, which you don't have to keep your money stuck. You don't have to compound it till the end of the year to make that APY number. Okay, again, kind of butchered the explanation there a little bit. Okay, but honestly, if my advice here is to look at APRs so that you're able to sell your daily profits and realize your gains. Okay, and you don't have to wait the whole year to realize the APY number that you saw at the beginning that attracted you, because it's kind of a little bit too long. You want to realize it, because do remember, we only have one bull run every 4 years. So yeah, you should have kind of like an exit strategy at least towards the end of 2025. Okay, unless you're happy in being stuck in a bear market for another 3.5 years after that. Okay, you have to think about it that way. Okay, but looking at Pulsechain Farms, I can easily say that this is one of my favorite and most trustable. Guys, trust is hugely important in crypto world, because basically what you're doing with the LP tokens, you're basically locking it into a smart contract. This is what a farm means, right? You're giving them LP tokens and you're locking it, and you're just receiving yields. And here you're going to receive yields as from the INC token. Making 61% APR is actually pretty decent, by the way, because if you put in, for example, let's say $2,000, and then you want to see every 30 days how much you're going to be making, that's going to be $104 in INC, by the way. Okay, or $3 daily, $3.3 daily. That's not bad. But do remember, by the way, okay, if I put that back to 2,000, this $104 that you're making on a monthly, this is going to be paid in INC. Okay, INC itself is absolutely on a low. We can actually double check that right now. So if you go to INC/PLS, you can see 1.88 with an all-time high, which was around $80. I think we actually can reach all-time high and kind of break it. Actually, I think we can definitely break triple digits. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just saying that there's definitely speculative plays here, where not only that you're receiving the your return from the yield, which is basically from the volume, people transacting, right, from the PulseX transactions, but also you're receiving an investment within itself. It could be a potential appreciation asset. So yeah, obviously it still is a risk, because if you're going to hold the INC, it can go lower, but at the same time it can go higher. So keep that in mind. This is beautiful, because that $104 within itself can be more than 10x worth at peak of bull run 2025. We're talking anywhere from 100. I mean, you do the maths. Right now we're at $1.88. How many X's are we away to $100 INC? I've seen experts, quote unquote, experts. I'd like to think that they're experts. Twitter. I don't know what you guys would call them. Twitter people, and literally throwing away numbers like $200 INC, $300 INC, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah, that $104 can be a lot. So yeah, so things like this is the Pulsechain Farms. Now this is V1, okay, version 1, which is basically Pulsechain Farms. Now there's also version 2 liquidity providing, and this is kind of what I'm going to be covering. This is where you basically want to create yield, not paying in INC. And it's basically you can get yield from providing liquidity in anywhere you want, because Pulsechain Farms is only the pre-selected ones that actual PulseX developer teams behind it that provided this. I think there used to be pools, but not anymore, unfortunately. Which is, pools are basically single-site staking pools, so zero impermanent loss risk. But unfortunately, we don't have them anymore. Are they going to bring it? Hopefully. We just haven't seen the devs really do anything in such a long time. Again, hopefully we'll see something soon, right? This is all V1. You can see the V1 tag, right? Now, V2 is basically what you see right here in front of you. At least for the most part, you can see your Dex Screener does show that. This is why Dex Screener is such a great tool that every crypto person should honestly be using. Dex Screener, Dex tools are all great, really great. This is where, any of your favorite tokens, the ones that you trust, you want to provide liquidity to them. It's basically like providing money in the ATM. You get a cut you get a proportional cut for providing money to the ATM to help their transactions. Whoever want to transact using the ATM, either to switch from token A to token B or vice versa. Okay, so for example, we're going to be taking an example here for today. Is this one? One of the top movers in today's Pulsechain market. Really good. SolidX. I might make a separate video on this. You can see a few things. Okay, one of the things that makes I'm going to show you guys how to calculate your potential yield APRs. Okay, before you actually jump into it, I'm going to show you guys how you can simulate it. Okay, one of the main things before you actually kind of look into it, a quick check, is a ratio between the volume and the liquidity. What you want to look at is you almost want to look at the higher volume compared to liquidity, the better. Okay, because if you have, for example, 5k volume with 200,000 liquidity, think about the proportional shares that you're going to be making. Okay, 300,000 liquidity, that's a lot of people to compete with, and then only 5k volume, it's going to dwindle down to very diminished returns, really. Okay, so you want to look at token assets that already have really good volume to liquidity ratio, or you're trying to predict the future where you think this volume will have higher volume days. Okay, again, this is totally you have to make your own decision about this. I'm just giving you guys hints, giving you guys kind of the things to look out for, indicators. Okay, so anyways, nonetheless, looking at this, the volume for today, past 24 hours, is 69,000. So what we're going to do, we're going to copy the contract of this. We're going to go here. We're going to show you guys quickly how you can create your LP tokens. We're going to go to add liquidity, click on V2, always click on V2. Okay, if you're going to go on V1, that has to be only because you're going to be going into PulseX farms. It only accepts V1 for PulseX farms. Everything else is V2. Okay, so if you create a V1 pool that is not in PulseX farm, you're going to receive 0 rewards. V2, you're going to receive rewards in the LP token itself. It's auto compounding by nature. Okay, it's kind of good. It's a good feature, really, but it does require you to have kind of like an Excel sheet. You need to write the numbers down so that you can keep track of how much you're earning every day. So like every 24 hours, on the hour, check, see what's the LP number, and see the difference 24 hours before, and then you can see how much you've made. You can calculate, you can even sell that amount if you want to realize your gains every single day. And I do recommend that as well, by the way. So anyways, going back to it, so we're going to choose to provide liquidity to this pair, which is SolidX/WPLS, and this is a V2. Now it does show that this is on 9-inch. Okay, but we're going to just act you know what, it doesn't even matter. We can go app.9-inch. Let's just do that here real quick. We can go trade liquidity, and then I have another LP here. We're going to add liquidity. We're going to paste that SolidX. There we go. Bam, bam, bam. And then it doesn't really matter, by the way. This is the same, happens with 9-inch, same happens with PulseX, because this whole liquidity constant product formula is the same. It's all basically a fork of Uniswap, right? It's a symmetric liquidity. This is how it works. And the main number that you need to understand here is that 0.22%. Okay, what do you mean by that? Let's just say you want to provide 10, let's just say 10 SolidX. Obviously, to create an LP token, you have to provide equal amounts, equal value on both sides. So 10, and then whatever value of 10, or vice versa, basically. So $171 plus $171, it will equal to around, $342, basically $342 to make this. Obviously, if you want to go less, you can go forward, whatever. Just for the sake of the example, I'm going to keep it at 10. And then it tells you here the share in the trading pair, okay, which is only 0.13%. Okay, now we're just going to bump that up a little bit to 15 just so I can kind of explain it. Okay, yeah, we'll keep it 15. Okay, 15, which is around $514. Okay, we'll just keep that $514. You're going to invest that, you'll make 0.2% of the trading pair. So that's your proportion. That's your portion of the liquidity pool yield. Okay, so we're going to go back to this. We're going to pull up a calculator. Okay, and then what you want to do, remember that number 0.22. That's a percentage. We want to turn it into a multiplier, so we're going to add 2 zeros, so it's actually 0.0022. Okay, so first things first, we're going to get the 24-hour volume so we can see our daily yield, what would it be? Simulate it. So it'll be 69,000 times 0.0022, right? It's that number. We turn it into a multiplier instead of percentage. We times that. So in the past 24 hours, $151.8 has been given out as trading fee yield, okay, to the liquidity providers. So what we want to do with this, I'm just going to double check that. I'm just going to 69,000 times 0.0022. Yep, $151. And then after that, we're going to go back to 9inch. I'm going to pull that up again. We are 0.2% of that. So we're going to times that. That's a percentage number. We're going to turn that into, again, into a multiplier. So we're going to add 2 zeros. 0.0020. Obviously, you don't need to add a 0, but I'm just showing it to explain. You're going to click enter, and that's how much you would have made in the past 24 hours, okay, which is 30 cents. From your $514, you would have made 30 cents, okay. Fair enough. What is the APR for this? Now remember that number 30 cents. We're going to divide that by the total investment here, which is 514, okay, 514, and it gives you this number, which is a percentage. Let's times that by 365, okay. Yeah, let's times that by 365. That's a multiplier again. Sorry, that's not a percentage. That's a multiplier. We're gonna times that, okay, and then times this by 100 because this is the multiplier. We're gonna turn it back into a percentage, and this is your APR, ladies and gentlemen. You just calculated it is 21% APR to provide liquidity in SolidX/WPLS, with the assumption that this volume stays roughly the same thing every. Let's do this. Let's actually find out, every single day. Obviously, it will definitely fluctuate. You can see here days where it actually has gone way below, like 21,000, 14,000. There's days where it actually went above 69K, and then there's even days where it basically jackpot, bro. You know what I mean? This is jackpot. This would be basically above. We're talking, almost 2% daily APRs there. You would have made 2% of your investment by just providing here. Okay, now obviously I'm not taking into account impermanent loss, which is why the next way, I hope you guys liked that explanation. The next way to make passive income is with 9mm. The DEX, guys, this is very beautiful. It provides a front end for the V3 in Pulsechain. Now, what is version 3? How does it differentiate it from version 2? I'm glad you asked. I'm not going to go that deep into describing that, but we're going to quickly go to liquidity. We're going to add liquidity. I'm going to show you. This is basically the main front end. Okay. What is version 3 differentiate? How is it differentiated with version 2? Number 1. An LP providing position is now encapsulated in an NFT format. Reason being, now you have dynamic variables. It's not possible to do that with a normal V2, which is just in a token. We have it in an NFT, which, now you can have dynamic variables within that NFT. You have things like ownership and stuff like that, obviously. But there's a few things. What are the dynamic variables that you can change? Well, you can only do them once you set the NFT, obviously, and that's the fact that you have a range, guys. This is a range that you can set where you only want your LP to be active, to be providingly active within that. Okay, now this reduces your impermanent loss and also increases your yield proportionally. Okay, because the tighter the gap, the price range, you want your liquidity to be active, the higher the APR you'll make. Okay, so you can see here, this is the projected APR is 40%. If I change that to, let's say 7% minus 7% plus 7%, it now has become 70%. Okay, you see that? Let's say, okay, plus or minus 5%, it now is 111 APR. This is a strong tool, especially if you have less capital and you really want to start making money. Version 3 liquidity is really great. I've made videos on this and I really recommend you guys go watch to it. I've made Excel sheets and I showed screenshots there, what I used, what I kept track of, how much I was making money. So for example, if we go back here, Okay, I'll show you guys how to, you know, quickly find the best, one of the best solid ones to look at. You can filter in the DEX. When you go to Pulsechain, you can click on 9mm, and then for example you can click on yeah, let's do the top volume one, and then you can see here, let's look at the ratio. Look at that, 34k in volume compared to 6k in liquidity, guys. Oh my god, this would have been an easy 10x. Oh, sorry, not 10x. This would have been easy 10% daily ROI. Let me just tell you that. Pika is a really good one. 1.8 million market cap. I made tons of videos on this. Yes, okay, liquidity, volume to liquidity is bad. 12k to 89, but because of the set range, it actually would have been higher. You still would, I believe you can still pull 1% easy with this, honestly. At least 1%, I would say. So for example, you know, I want to look at both. I've already done solid X, so let's just say, let's look into yeah, let's look into, oh, there's even hex over here. That's not that, that's too much. 8.5k ratio with 241. This is really, that's a tough one. Okay, it's a tough one. You have to play around with the ranges, see which one you know, fits your range, whatever. But looking at Pika, really great looking chart. By the way, this is a CTO, community takeover. It's doing really well, by the way. 89k liquidity. Obviously, this is not symmetric liquidity compared to Pulsex 9-inch Spark Swap, which we're going to be checking out in a second. This is asymmetric. So you actually want to look down here. You can see 68k is on the Pika side. Pika side, what is on the ask side? WPS, which is the buy side / bid side, this is 21,000. Okay, anyways, you don't need to really worry about that too much, but it does show how, you know, there's more on the Pika side. That's because with V3 you can actually enter single-sidedly if that kind of makes sense. Okay, you can enter single-sidedly where you've almost created a sell wall. As people request to buy, you're giving them tokens so you can exit out. It's a good and a bad thing. Okay, it's kind of controversial because it kind of shows that liquidity, when you look at the number, it's not real representation of the liquidity. You're kind of walking on thin ice. You know what I mean? You're walking, all feels good, you know, 90k liquidity. All of a sudden, whoa, where did it all go? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because of the different sets, ranges, right? And people, you know, entering liquidity as single side staking so that they can exit out as soon as you keep buying in. Is dangerous. It can be dangerous. So keep that in mind. This is why when I look at meme coins, I also double check, is there LP pools in version 2? Because I look at that and I value that even more than V3. That's my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. But anyways, Pika is one of my favorite ones for sure. Favorite meme coins. We're gonna go back here. Okay, we're gonna see. We want to enter Pika, and then here there's different fee tiers. Okay, and what I love about 9mm is that most of the people providing are in the 1% or the 2% fee tier. Oh, that's sweet money. That means 1% of the transaction fee goes to the yield providers, or liquidity providers, and it feels good. This is why you can make money in this, guys, let me tell you. So you click 1% here. I'm gonna make more videos on 9mm, by the way. Shout out to the people who made 9mm. Honestly, I've made good gains from this. Anyways, here your position will not earn fees by using trades until the market price moves to your range. Obviously, this is really bad, but this kind of tells you what I'm talking about. Look, because it's out of range from the current price, I can actually only enter by just providing Pika. Okay, and it's the same thing here. If I provided the range on this side, I can only enter by providing Pulse. And as people keep selling, right, when the price gets, as people keep buying, yeah, as the price appreciates, right, you're gonna now turn your Pulse into Pika. Basically, right? Because people want to buy, you're like, oh, here's my Pulse. You know what I mean? This is basically the buy wall in a way, but this is a sell wall. This is what I'm talking about, where it's controversial. Okay, I can put it really close to the current price right now. Okay, I can make it really tight like that. If I want to sell, I can put all my amount, and yeah, I would sell. It would literally sell, because as people are selling, I'm getting my Pulse back, basically. Or sorry, as people are buying, I'm getting my Pulse back. And it's not wrecking the chart. So it's really crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. This stuff. This is a different ball game, honestly. V2 from V3. Anyways, let's try it first with 50% APR, or 50% plus or minus 50%. You can see here the APRs are kind of 24. It's not the best really, but if we change that to 20% plus or minus 69% APR, that's not bad. We change that to 10% plus or minus. Now let's go back to the chart. You can kind of see, okay, is it really gonna move that much in a few days? Do you know what I mean? Like, it actually has kind of been consolidating so much, left and right. Okay, you know, you can kind of see it might go lower, 18%, but going above, in my opinion, I wouldn't think it would go above, you know, 6%. It might keep, you know, fluctuating. So maybe the next few days, because you can see it really moved very slowly, so maybe we could actually pull off a you know, we could pull off a minus 6% plus 6%. Do you mean? So let's do that. Minus 6%. There we go. Okay, 5%. Sure. Let's click. Okay, never mind. It's being weird a little bit, but you can see minus 5.2, minus 6.2% or plus 5.7 is 244. That's almost 1% daily ROI. By the way, let's do a quick test with SolidX. This one is WPLS / SolidX. We can quickly check. By the way, we're gonna do that, and you can see what is the highest fear. It already picked it up because it tells you here the percentage. You just want to go in the fee tier that is the most. By the way, the majority of people are in. So yeah, 1% fee tier, beautiful. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna put it on 50% plus or minus. That's 7.7 APR. We're gonna put it on 20. And then 10, you can see kind of the APRs here are kind of, it doesn't show that much, to be honest with you. Again, this tool sometimes is not the most accurate. Keep that in mind. Just have your own judgment. You can kind of see, you know, in the past few days, you can see that, you know, we've actually had really good volume in the past few days with SolidX. So this is a really good call, guys. I'm providing gems right here. It's a really good call to just park your money, because honestly, it does seem like we've touched the bottom at that $13. So from 17 to, you know, 13 is a minus 20%. So in terms of impermanent loss, I wouldn't really be that afraid. And you can also flip the price, by the way. You know what I mean? You can actually flip the price. Unfortunately, it doesn't really show the price with USD price, but you have to kind of find out your own. So you can click the chart here, index screener, do that with WPLS, and then you can make your own, you know, kind of lines. So for example, here, I kind of deducted that I don't think it's going to go lower than 374,000 WPLS price. And then in terms of up, it can go really up. So, you know, between that range, which is basically plus 12%, right? To plus 12%, lower to minus 18%. So it basically 374, 516. So if we go down here, we will do 374. 516. Oh, I forgot to add the zeros. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Yep, you got it. So that's at 29% APR. Again, I don't think this is accurate. Okay, because this is definitely gonna make you way more than that, guys. Okay, so don't rely fully on the calculator APR. Okay, so keep that in mind. But I think this is a really solid one. This is what I would actually do. So yeah, that's 9mm, guys. You know, scratching the surface again. Hope you guys enjoy that. This might be overwhelming information, but really golden. This might be actually my top one. The next one here, I just wanted to mention this because this is actually a really fun concept. I really like it. And it is from Deegan Protocol. Shout out to them. And we're going to focus exactly on their validator NFTs. I've seen people talk about this. It's a really great concept. I really like it, by the way, because of course, you know, being a validator takes a huge commitment. They really lowered the barrier to it. It's kind of like the same way how real estate is really hard to get in. Imagine you can have, you know, a group of people to contribute to one property, and then, you know, they'll make proportionate gains from it. So it's really beautiful. So I also have the page from the white paper, validators NFTs. It costs you 500,000 pulse per NFT, and then once you put that, you stake it in here. You can also delist it. So this is unstaked, unlocked staking for NFTs, which is really not bad. Now, in terms of the APR or APY, I think this one might actually be APY. I calculated, I'm going to show you guys how calculated. Let me know if it's an accurate way. I don't know if there's any numbers being thrown around. Is basically around 11% APY. Now, yes, that's not a lot, but do remember, you know, WPLS is a token that itself, it can really go a lot higher than what it is right now, guys. Okay, some people even say that we might be you know, in the lows, in the bottom. I don't really like to call it the bottom, but if we quickly check here in the chart, you can see obviously this is my projection, is to go to, you know, are we going to reach half a cent peak of this bull run? That would be kind of cool, which is basically a 50x from sacrifice price. And you know, 50x from sacrifice price, how much is it from today, by the way, would be a beautiful 113x. Okay, so yeah, keep that in mind, guys. So 113x, 11% APY. Is it really 11% APY? If you think in mid to long term, delay that gratification. This is why validated NFTs are not bad. Again, this is not financial advice. What I did to kind of calculate the APY and how did I get it? So let me bring up that calculator again. You can see here, we're going to quickly read this and I'll show you guys. Validated NFTs are a fractionalized share of a validator node and its stakes of Pulse, earning rewards in real time. Each NFT is a unique piece of art and can be traded on the marketplace. Any wallet holding an NFT is eligible to claim GOAT rewards when they're distributed. Fees from NFT mints go towards making a validator stakes, so 32 million per Pulse. This is your minimum requirement to become a validator, by the way. I think that's the same amount in Ethereum, right? Is it 36? 32, I forgot. And I think they're trying to propose to make it lower, by the way. Anyways, each stake requires 64 NFTs to be minted. Anyone can mint as many NFTs as they like, so long as they have the Pulse to pay for them, which is 500k Pulse, which is really, really cheap. The more stakes the protocol has, the more rewards get distributed between all NFT holders. So you can see here 2,886 NFTs has been minted, and this is how much revenue was paid. I believe this is obviously in Pulse, right? So what we're gonna do to calculate, you know, the APY, and I think it's an APY. Obviously, it's not an APR because you need the stake, the validator, to stay there the whole year to realize the gains that it's stating. How I got to that number is 2,886 divided by 64 to see how many validators, basically. So that's 45, right? So next up, the rewards, 169. Let's do that more accurately. 169,500,000. Maybe one more zero. Yep, 100,000 divided by 32 million, right? Because that's the cost of one one validator. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully those. Nope. Like that. Yep. So 320 million. You divide by that. So that's 5.2. Okay, 5.2 divided by the number that we just calculated from this one, which is 45. Hopefully I'm right. I think it was 45. Yeah, and there you go. That's a multiplier. We timed that by 100 to turn it into a percentage. 11.77% APY. Hopefully that's right. You just look at the ratio. I'm just looking at the ratio. You know how much has been minted, how much has been returned back from it. So it paid off 11% of its own worth. So that's why I'm saying 11.7 APY, right? So yeah, pretty cool stuff, guys. Go check them out. I'm gonna leave all the links in the description for this one, by the way. One of the second ones here, I'm just gonna quickly go through this because I'm realizing the video is taking longer than it. SparkSwap, big shout out to SparkSwap, by the way. I use their bridge all the time for the SDI bridge. Really go check them out if you want to bridge to BNB or vice versa. One of the cheapest bridges, very quick as well. SparkSwap, they have their farms. They also have tons of other things. I might make a whole video on this, but the one that I mainly just want to kind of give a shout out to or endorse is really the stablecoin farm right here, guys. If you want to make 23% on a literal stablecoin liquidity providing, stablecoin as in SDI and DAI, guys, this is basically 0% impermanent loss. There's always going to be some type of risk with whatever reason. A stablecoin would depeg. I don't think that would happen. I think that's a less than a 0.1% of a chance. But you know what I mean, I have to say this, by the way, just to protect myself. But it's minimal impermanent loss. Okay, S die and die. So if you want to park up your money somewhere, yeah, this is one of those places where you want them to park up and still make you some money, rather than just collecting dust. Okay, and then finally, but not least, guys, and this is something I've always loved to talk about, made videos on this. I even made airdrops with this, by the way. It is growth DeFi. Okay, when you're in, when you're in everything else, and you still want to find another way to make money, to make a really great yield, and one of the easiest way as well, so you could consider this way before the other ones, because this one's really easy to get in as well. And it's not just a passive income. You're holding an appreciative, obviously a speculative asset, and if you think about it, the passive income is what's free, because you're still holding the token, guys. Okay, so we're talking about 4WMM with, hopefully future videos on this, guys. By the way, okay, I made a ton of videos. They're working on a lot of different platforms. They're working on a few, I don't want to talk too much, but until things come out, they're working on a few things in the background. They're cooking. It's part of growth DeFi. They're seasoned developers, guys. They know what they're doing. They have, they've actually solidified their footprint in the crypto world, so they know what they're doing. And me, with great pleasure, I'm going to be talking about this here. 4WMM gives you reflections in PDAI, in Pulse, the native token itself, in PWBTC, one of my favorite PRC20s to hold. And the fourth one is their token, the P-Grow, basically. This one right here. You see that? And you can see it's a 6% buy, 9% sell. And this token, 4WMM, only has 169 total supply. Absolutely crazy. Feels like a club membership owning one of them, by the way. Okay, and yes, we're not seeing the greatest volume days compared to that, but guess what? These are the days that I'm holding for again. Okay, remember when I told you, buy in the green, buy in the red candles, buy in the low volume days, because everyone else is so fearful. Everyone else is emotional. Everyone is doubting the crypto bull run. Everyone is saying, oh my God, Pulsechain. You know what I mean? No. Don't be a fool and sell on a loss. Now, way too soon. We are actually on track with all the previous bull runs. Let me tell you that. But of course, these days, they suck. Being in these days. Okay? Even me, guys. Even me, I'm like, whoa. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? Even though I have the charts, I can easily look at the patterns. History repeats itself. History often rhymes. You know what I mean? And you really do ask yourself, is it that easy? But of course it's not. Once you know what I mean? When you know the theory versus when you apply it practically, it doesn't fully translate, but you just have to believe in something, guys. And I believe in Pulsechain. Okay, this is why I'm mentioning 4WMM. I think it will definitely repeat its beautiful days, guys, where literally I made a video basically around here. Or actually, I think way even low. I think it was on $80, guys. $80, and it did a beautiful, guys, beautiful 13x actually. Almost 14 basically, because you have to add another x. Almost 14x to 1.1k, surpassing PWBTC and stuff like that. Really cool, guys. And I've been making like good amounts from especially those days, guys. Yeah, good amounts, like almost, do you mean like basically making hundreds per month in those days. Do you mean? So yeah, being in a 4WMM holder, the yield, the free reflections is the byproduct. Okay, because the main thing, you're holding for days where, yeah, supply and demand, people want to be a club member. Guess what? There's only 169 club members possible. Whew. You know what I mean? Like we have, it's crazy. So it's really crazy, guys. You know what I mean? Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end the video there. Okay. Shout out to Growth DeFi. Shout out to 4WMM. One of my favorite reflection tokens in the Pulsechain ecosystem. Other mentions, honorable mentions, like the Die Hard, and a few other ones as well. But I'm gonna end the video there, guys. It's basically midnight. Tomorrow's a working day. But I enjoy making videos at these times, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video there. Hope you guys liked it. You know, I've given you guys a few projects that I've personally used before, by the way. Big shout out to 9mm. That one is a huge money maker as well. And of course, Pulsex Farms, that's one of my most trusted farms. If anything, that's one of the only farms I actually want to involve in with big cash, is Pulsex Farms. That's what I trust, big cash. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Join my Telegram link in the description. Ask me questions. Ask the rest of the, you know, be part of the community as well. Follow my Twitter link in the description, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye bye.